I gotta be honest, man. I couldn't care less about people having an affair. Because I'm a classy boy. I'm a classy boy. Because I don't know a lot is the thing. I know enough to be dangerous, but only to my own personal reputation and feelings. All right, you ready for this, Dan?
Is it morbing time?
I don't know if you could hear that, but that was a creak pop of me opening up the first classy beverage of the classy OTA era, which is Sandeman Founders Reserve Ruby Port. It's a port from Portugal.
I didn't like Portugal.
Portugal?
Portugal.
You didn't like Portugal? So
imagine if you
I was talking about this with my manager the other day. Something that you would not be aware of because you don't work in the liquor industry like I do. Taylor Port, and by Taylor Port, I don't mean the nice Taylor Port. I do in fact mean the shitty made in New York Taylor Port, which is fine. Before anyone comes at me, it's fine. It's just not that special. It is very popular right now. And the reason is because TikTok has just like made this thing explode.
Okay.
All right. And that's been cool for us because we can't keep these gallons of port like on the shelves. Very, very funny.
It is extremely funny.
However, it has made me interested in trying good ports because my one manager's like, they're not even buying good port. They're buying that Taylor crap, not good Taylor. And then he pulls up the good Taylor, and Dan, I don't know how to tell you this. They look the same. One is either the American branch of the other, or they are desperately trying to rip off Taylor Prime.
It could be both.
Either way, I'm thrilled. But so here we are. I'm gonna try this port now. I don't know. Dan, that's delicious.
I'm not surprised.
I love ports. They are very much just a dessert beverage. Because what is this? 20% alcohol. You know, like
not what
it's higher than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
As like a sweet sipper. But simultaneously it is classier than just being a sweet sipper because it is. You know, it's classy because of the way it is.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about wine. Like I know like very very basic amount. I don't know like if I mean I'm sure I've had a port. I can't think of one that I have had. I wish I could buy in on this, but I don't have anything.
Well, Dan, as
tell me, please.
As part of the OTA class era, it's just one of those things that I guess either you got to get on the train or be on the way home. I don't know. That kind of went away from me. But don't let that be a reason not to be on board with the OTA classes it up era, because it's definitely a thing that we're all committed to, and not just me and just this episode.
Yeah, we're gonna be committed to this forever
because we're classy fellows now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know jack shit about ports.
I'm
not gonna lie to you. I literally only just learned like 2 days ago that they're from Portugal, and that's why they're called ports. Which, before anyone's like, "Yeah, no shit, Noah. Why do you think it was called a port?" I don't know,
because it was
man.
made near the ocean, idiot.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Do you know why Chardonnay is called Chardonnay?
Is it the Chardonnay region of France?
No, it's the Chardonnay grape. You know why Pinot Grigio is called Pinot Grigio?
Do tell.
It's the Pinot Grigio grape. Dan, do you know why Cabernet Sauvignon is called Cabernet Sauvignon?
Oh, dude, please enlighten me.
It's called that because of the fucking grape. So forgive me. This is not directed at you, but forgive me for not being sure why port would be called ports when I learned that every other wine is named after the region or the grape. Which has honestly been the funniest thing. It's like, oh yeah, a Bordeaux is kind of a type of wine, but it is actually just wine from Bordeaux, France. That's what a real Bordeaux is. However, Bordeaux has also become a type. You know, one of those things. I didn't know, actually. And I'm going to get off of a pretentious wine
I'm so into this,
here
honestly.
In just a second. Because I don't know a lot is the thing. I know enough to be dangerous, but only to my own personal reputation and feelings. You know? So one of the things I learned is that not only is port not only are wines like hyper regional, Europe has a lot of laws that protect various wines so that you literally legally are not allowed to make a wine unless you follow certain steps. I think the most popular example of this that people tend to point out is champagne.
Yeah, champagne
is only champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling wine.
And in the US, we don't give a shit about that.
Exactly.
It's
we
all
call it
champagne.
California. Well, it's California champagne, the legal distinction, because that way you can sell it outside of the States without it being like a problem.
Yeah.
But I think that that's fascinating. Just like the stupidest trivia that also happens to be like very interesting to me.
Yeah, legal.
I don't know. But yeah, that's the type of stuff I've been learning at work. So
I'm here for it, to be honest. Can you tell me why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Of course. So in I was trying to remember the name for Belgium, but I kept just wanting to say Burgundy.
In Burgundy.
In Burgundy, you see. And then I was just gonna riff about how legally you're not allowed to call it Cinnamon Toast Crunch because of some like grape or something. Yeah, I was just gonna do some stupid shit, and now I can't because I managed to like trash the whole bit by forgetting how to say Belgium.
And then continuing to explain the bit as if that makes it better.
As if I couldn't have just edited out the part where I accidentally said the wrong thing. Exactly.
Yeah, but you weren't going to do that. So instead,
no, Dan, I ask you, sir, why would I do that?
Content.
In what world do I ever pump the brakes when I am spiraling?
That's true.
None, I tell you. None.
That's true. Actual question though, were you around? Was I talking? I don't know if I was on the podcast when I was talking about it. I really want to become like a whiskey guy, not like a snobby whiskey guy, but I want to like at least have like some opinions on whiskey. I
have good news and bad news for you.
It's very easy to do.
The good news, well, I was going to say the bourbon market because for many things, American whiskey and bourbon are mildly interchangeable words.
Yeah.
It is not an interchangeable term before any bourbon guys get at me.
But in America, you can make a whiskey sour out of bourbon and nobody's going to say anything.
Not just that, but
that's just like how I
like, because there's some bourbon heads. The real bourbon heads out there are like, it's only bourbon if it's from Kentucky. Everything else is just whiskey. And okay, sure, whatever. That's not a legally protected term though, so they can suck an egg. I'm
here for it. I agree.
Term. But the nice thing is the bourbon market is so oversaturated. You can find a lot of really nice stuff for really cheap.
I do like that.
So yeah, that's actually the great news of the day that I have for you is that the bourbon market is so overstuffed with bourbon. Then you can find good stuff for, I shit you not, like $20. Like good stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like one of those things where I have like a specific whiskey that I do like. I could not tell, like, but I want to be able to tell people why I like it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to get to. I want to be like, I know the difference between what a single and double malt is.
Oh, I know that.
Do tell.
Okay,
it's so not just I don't know what a double malt is. He was talking about it.
I don't know what a double malt is. I'll tell you that much right away. But single malt means that it was made from one type of grain. So usually it's a Scotch term, so that means only one type of grain was made with or was used to make that Scotch.
Well, you know, as opposed to a double, which presumably, let's see, double malt.
I don't know.
Single malt is double malt is made in 2 distilleries. Apparently, I'm reading it now on the internet. See, now I learned something.
Nice.
But like
OTA learning things. I know.
If you handed me,
I can't believe it either.
Here's the thing: if you handed me a Scotch, a whiskey, a bourbon, and I don't know what other kind of whiskeys are there.
An Irish whiskey?
And an Irish whiskey. I don't think I could tell you the difference. And I want to be able to.
Dan, I have good news for you. I think you could tell the difference between some of these things.
Okay.
Because for the most part...
Oh, and rye.
For the
There's
most
also rye
part,
whiskey. Rye whiskey I actually probably could pick out.
I love ryes. I
There's a
think ryes are good.
There's a place when we're in Myrtle Beach, where I know you won't have time to go to, but if somehow you decide to, um, it's called 1233. That's what it is. There's a distillery in Myrtle Beach called 1233. Their rye is fucking incredible. Like to the point where when I go down, I'm buying like 3 or 4 bottles to bring it back up.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's super good. It's very like very woody, for lack of a better word. Anyway, yeah,
I like a good. I don't know that, and so okay. Let me just
Scotch, bourbon,
toss some
rye.
stuff at you real quick. So ryes are more than 50% rye as the grain base.
That makes sense.
Which I'm sure that you could put that together if you knew more about like different rules like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the more important thing that you're gonna know is that, let's see, the more important thing is, if I can remember a goddamn thing I was saying. Holy shit! Give me a second, Dan. Give me a second.
Circle back. I believe in you. I believe in you.
So ryes are a little spicy. The rye
it
makes it spicier.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Spice is a weird word for it, but I understand what you're talking about. I get what you mean.
That's what people say though. Like it's like, oh yeah, rye is the spicy whiskey.
Interesting. Okay.
I have never noticed it being like spicy hot at all.
No,
but,
no,
hey,
no.
You know, more power to you if that's the terminology. Irish whiskeys tend to taste thinner because of their preparation. Okay. They don't tend to be as heavy on the tongue as a bourbon or a Scotch will. Lots of Scotches are very smoky because, or peaty, as you're gonna get more, because that's what they use to dry the grains is peat fires. It's a traditional preservation thing because they have peat to burn and not wood as much. So that's what they would use to dry out the grains to turn it into whiskeys. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Bourbons tend to be fuller than whiskeys, but once again, the difference between a whiskey and a bourbon is in America, a very fine line. So, yes. But bourbon can only be made in America, kind of like how tequila can only be made in certain areas of Mexico. Otherwise, it's not tequila, no matter what.
What would you even call it?
I have no idea.
Agave liquor?
Because tequila has to be made with agave, and it needs to be made in certain areas of Mexico to be legally allowed to be called tequila. That's why, like Jose Gold, technically not tequila.
Interesting.
It's made with agave, among other things.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mezcal is a tequila made in a couple other designated areas of Mexico that is allowed to have an agave blend instead of just the blue agave. But, you know, I don't know. I've learned a lot of really like dumb little fun things, and that's some of them, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm like deeply, and see, that's the thing. I'm deeply fascinated by this because I don't know, because I don't drink whiskey like on the rocks hardly ever. Like I do sometimes, but not that often. Although when I do, I always like, I'm never upset by it. Like it's fine. If I'm gonna order something with whiskey and then I'm gonna order a mixed drink, because I generally drink mixed drinks.
I mean, why not?
Because why not? I am an adult. I've decided mixed drinks, fuck.
Yeah, why not? Honestly, but mixed drinks are good.
It's one of those things where I would love to be like, I almost feel like I would need to sit down with like a row of them. You know what I mean? To be able to actually know which ones really are you. Yeah, exactly. I think I need to like sit down in a line and be like, all right, so here is a classic Scotch, classic Irish, classic American, Japanese, I guess. Apparently Japanese whiskey is a very common thing as well. The more you know.
Oh yeah.
And Canadian. I don't know that I've ever noticed a Canadian whiskey. Actually, no, that's not true. I have. Never mind. I take it back.
You've never had Crown Royal?
I was going to say Crown Royal's Canadian, isn't it? I literally was just thinking Crown Royal. Yep. Cool.
Black Velvet?
I've never had Black Velvet, actually.
I mean, that's fine.
I know of it, but I've seen it. Just never had it.
Black Velvet, I'm going to drop the big hot take. Black Velvet is not anything special.
Damn. Brutal. Savage. Wrecked.
I know, right? I'm really destroying the Black Velvet industry right now. I don't know.
I don't like Tennessee whiskey. I'm not a fan of Jack. That I know.
So what I hear is you're not a fan of Jack Daniels.
Yes.
Jack Daniels isn't that great.
So perhaps I just only have bad,
in my opinion,
Tennessee whiskey, which is valid.
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of like how Captain isn't that great either. You know?
It's okay. Depends on what you mix it with, to be honest. Like, it's one of those, like,
Well, the issue is that Captain is getting worse as the years go by. I'm not the one that says this. This is my manager who used to love Captain Morgan.
Okay.
And Captain, according to her, has been dropping in quality, which is why she is being sold on like smaller things more, you know, like small batch this, small batch that. She's not a fan of spiced rums, but if she's going to drink a spiced rum, she will only drink Sailor Jerry,
Okay.
for example. Which, hot damn, that's horrific. More power to you, I guess.
So what I'm gonna do, Noah, when I finally make it up to Erie, I'm gonna come hang out with you for a day. I'm gonna have you bring like just a bunch of whiskeys, and we'll do some tasting. We'll do our own little whiskey tasting, and I'm gonna make you suffer through this with me because I won't do it on my own.
Wait, so you're saying you're too afraid to drink whiskey without me?
No, I'm just too lazy to go out and buy like 7 or 8 bottles of whiskey and bring them home. Whereas if I go out with you and if I go with you and do this, then it's 2 people finishing it off and we can say, okay, well, we can split it in half. Like, oh, I like these 3, you like these 3. We'll just, take each set home. I don't have to finish off 6 bottles of whiskey on my own, and half of them I might not like.
Okay. Maybe I'll bring some down to the wedding.
I mean,
which definitely has already happened. Congrats on being married, Dan.
Oh, dude, I'm so married right now.
It definitely has already happened. It's not happening in
like 5 days
on recording days, so we're recording early. That would never happen.
No. We just got done with the wedding, actually.
Yeah. Literally seconds ago, Dan said I do, and Michelle was so happy. It was the day of his life. He's like, he's very happy, and we all are, and everyone should be happy for Dan.
Yeah, thanks.
Because chronologically, the time is correct.
My favorite part of being married is
being married.
The being married part, yeah, kind of.
Honestly, being married, it's a pretty important part of the marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. No, oddly enough, some might even say it's the most important part.
Some might say that. But some people also have been wrong before.
Yeah. So yeah, we left the wedding and went to go talk about whiskey. I was gonna say, I don't think you're gonna have time to drink whiskey with me at the post wedding.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Okay, listen, I'm down to I'm down for this challenge that you're throwing around, but I don't think you're gonna back it up.
I mean, it's a moot point now because whatever decisions have been made will be made.
Yeah,
I was actually telling Jeff that I was considering bringing down some whiskey.
Do it.
It's called Howler Head.
Ooh.
It's a banana bourbon.
A what?
Banana bourbon.
Huh.
It's bourbon with some banana notes, and the concept of this is very interesting to me.
Okay, so when you're telling me banana, I'm having a hard time not thinking of it as banana flavored, and I'm assuming that's not what it is.
No, that's the thing. It is not.
It doesn't taste like Laffy Taffy banana.
I certainly hope it does not, because that would just be 99 bananas mixed with bourbon.
So the worst.
Yeah, man. 99 bananas pisses me off.
Why is that?
Because I love fake banana, Dan.
You're a monster.
I don't know if you knew this, but I do actually love fake banana.
I literally don't like you. I need you to understand.
I understand liking fake banana is a very controversial opinion.
Bad take.
I like it. I think fake banana is delightful. However, I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong for liking banana or for disliking fake banana, because there's a lot of reasons to dislike fake banana.
Because of the flavor.
Yeah. Basically. Sure. I don't know, man. I like it. But it's that grain alcohol taste that you also get with the 99 stuff. And that's foul.
That's fair, to be honest. Actually, that's very fair.
I don't know. It's hands down my least favorite part. It's just not good.
And yet,
I don't drink it.
And yet we have you're bringing a banana whiskey.
Yeah, I don't know what it tastes like.
I do love trying new drinks live with your friends. I think that is a good time, and I think people should do it more often.
Yeah, I figured at the very least you would enjoy the fun of me being the one that supplies an alcohol.
Did I? So
the novelty alone.
Did I tell you that our wedding favors are shot glasses?
I love that.
Because of course they are, on some level. But I'm just saying, if you bring it literally to the wedding, we can just do shots at the wedding.
We'll talk about this.
I mean, we did talk about this, obviously.
I mean, we talked about it, and that's why I brought it to the wedding, and we drank banana bourbon at the wedding.
Which
I just want to make High drink it, if we're being 100% here.
Ah, there it is.
I just want to make High drink something.
Not to like put High on blast. High is hypothetically bringing so much fucking booze up north.
I'm so excited. Ignore the cork sounds, by the way. I'm not pouring myself some more delightful port. Because I'm a classy boy. I'm a classy boy who doesn't drink loads of port, but I'm definitely drinking loads of port.
Loads of port.
Know what I mean?
He went down to the liquor store and he bought himself just a whole box of port.
I don't. It's a fun time. It's dessertful.
It does sound like it sounds like really good. Yeah. No, I'm.
I don't know why I said dessertful, but you know what I mean.
No, I understand what you mean. No, High is the reason I'm bringing up whiskey in general, actually, because he's like, oh, I want to bring down a single malt, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd like that. He's like, well, we're gonna fucking find out.
Yeah, I think you will. I don't see any reason that you would not. You know. Flip side, maybe you'll fall in love with my banana bourbon instead.
If I do need you to stop the wedding. I love
the idea of you being like, wait a minute. What? I can't believe I liked the banana bourbon. Oh no, the banana bourbon.
No.
Don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, my friend.
Whatever. It's just a thing. Anyway. So we had something we were going to talk about, though, that wasn't me going off on alcohol for like the last 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Listen, it's fine.
And for the life of me, I'm sorry. I don't remember what it was.
I do. I remember what it was.
I don't like how you're saying that.
It was Morbin time, Noah.
It's Morbin time, baby. Morbin time. I tried to bring this up last week, as many of you probably noticed. And
we were distracted.
Yeah, y'all got distracted probably by Adult Con and the Gathering of the Juggalos Hunt Big Smoke party. So Morbius got re-released. This is old news at this point. Everyone knows.
I don't care. It's so dumb.
It's fucking hilarious. Morbius, for those who somehow are unfamiliar, Morbius got re-released in theaters. And firstly, yeah, it costs nothing to re-release a movie. Well, or very little to re-release a movie you already released. I know that. I understand that. However, it is so funny that they re-released Morbius and it made less in 1,000 theaters plus made less than $100,000.
Yeah.
On its opening weekend.
Yeah. That feels right.
Like, that's wild. That is wild to me.
It feels right, though. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm like, I want to know who,
does it feel right?
I want to know who was responsible. You know, like, I want to know what intern was like, or what intern didn't say anything.
Because I don't think it was. Here's what happened, Dan. The studio was like, there is demand. People need to morb. And I guarantee what happened is marketing people were like, hey, I don't think people need to morb. And they were like, oh, pish posh. The people demand morbing. We must morb for them. And then they swill their brandy or port, as the case may be. And I'm just saying, that's exactly what happened. You know, they saw the memes. They thought, oh, yeah, this is a thing. We could definitely, I guarantee even, I'm gonna keep doubling down on this. They knew that it was mostly ironic. I bet they knew it was
ironic. There's no way they didn't. Like,
however,
but they thought that,
how many people have done something out of irony?
Exactly. That's
and
exactly
spent money on it.
Banking on. You know what? That's fair. That's I think what it is exactly. I think it was they were like, they'll see it ironically and make the money again.
And $85,000 worth of people did that on the opening weekend.
Yeah.
You know, enough people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I think it's a very funny situation. I think it's very much it's one of those things that shows to me that like no matter how much they're in our algorithms, they don't know.
Mm-hmm. Also, not for nothing, a lot of Jared Leto hate has spawned from this because people already were questionable on their feelings on Jared Leto. You know? People
Yeah.
already weren't super down with the dude.
He's kind of shitty as a human being.
Oh, he's super fucking shitty. And this, like the movie, all it did was give more people an opportunity to say, hey, you know, Jared Leto sucks, right? And it's like, damn, Jared Leto sucks. You're telling me this for the first time. This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
But for some people, it is the first time they're hearing it.
I mean, here's the thing, right? It's one of those things where I'm now looking up like Jared Leto, like history stuff.
Well, I mean, there was him and the 15-year-old. That's gross.
Yep.
There's his cult island. That's gross.
Yep.
And like, I'm even willing to say the cult island isn't enough to put some people off. And
no, I'm honest. Like, cult island is weird.
That's
but, like,
fine. I understand that not being enough to put some people off. That does not bug me.
No, I think cult following is super weird, but like, fucking, as long as nobody's getting like actively hurt.
Well, I mean,
if the only way they're getting hurt is financially,
let
me rephrase that. If the only way they're getting hurt is financially, I don't care, right? Like if you're dumb enough to dump money into what is it, Mars Island, fine.
Yeah,
fine.
It's a dumb decision, but hey, if you want to go there and do that,
exactly,
more power to you.
I think it's like, honestly, I think that is pretty low on the totem pole. There's the talking to children inappropriately.
Yeah,
and or actively fucking a child, you know. There's, and then I feel like I really saw it really come through in Suicide Squad, like when Suicide Squad came out.
Yeah, a lot of people turned against him then because he was being fucking weird.
He wanted so badly to be Heath Ledger. That's what it was, and it was so sad.
And he missed the part that Heath Ledger didn't treat his like co-stars like that.
Yeah,
like. Heath Ledger got really into character in private. Heath Ledger did not abuse his co-stars by like, haha, I am the Joker. That wasn't what he was like.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind that he didn't realize that.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I'll be honest. It doesn't, it's one of those things where I feel like he's just being shitty. He's just being shitty.
Mm-hmm. Super shitty.
Just being
like, I don't know.
Just shit.
It bums me out more when like people I know are like, "Hey, what you gonna do?" And it's like,
not support his content.
we were talking about this at work. RE Top Gun.
Ooh, okay.
Because speaking of weird dudes, Tom Cruise is a weird dude.
Tom Cruise is a weird dude, but the difference is Tom Cruise is so goddamn charismatic.
And firstly, yeah, that he gets a long way by being an incredibly likable person.
He's like turns out you can be shitty and just not be shitty at all times, and also be hot, and people will get behind you. Although I'm gonna be honest, Tom Cruise, meh.
Tom Cruise is very conventionally attractive outside of his like middle tooth. He is like literally poster boy conventional attractive.
I guess.
I think also though Jared Leto is pretty attractive as well.
Jared Leto is edgelord attractive is what he is.
Yeah, he looks like every character that you make in an online game.
I was literally about to say it, and I'm very angry you got to it
character,
first.
But less buff.
Yeah, I'm a little mad that you got to it first, but yes, that is exactly what he looks like.
Which, hey, Jared, that's not a compliment.
Hey! Wait a minute.
In the context? Come on, Dan. Dan. It's not a compliment in context.
I refuse. Stop.
But like, it's just like, buddy, what are you doing, friendo?
Let's see.
Don't be fucking weird. Oh yeah, Tom Cruise controversy. So the Tom Cruise controversy is just that he's the Scientologist, like the Scientologist. Everyone knows him as a Scientologist.
Yeah.
And we were at work, we were talking about, some guy was saying, I don't know. I just try not to let actors' personal lives influence how I enjoy their media, which firstly, yes, he was white. Secondly, um, I really do believe that that's a bad take because like there's some people who you should allow it to influence your opinion on them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can do the separate art from artist thing, but firstly, it really only works after they die.
That's exactly what it is. So I can't wait till everyone but Edgar Wright involved with Baby Driver is dead.
Yeah, Nina and I have talked about that a lot because she's like, I hate that I feel like I'm not allowed to love this movie
I love it so
that
much.
I already bought before everything came out about all of the people involved except Edgar Wright.
And
she's like,
Edgar
so
Wright,
Edgar Wright simply am not going to care.
It's only half the main cast, to be fair. Only half.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ansel Elgort turned out to be a real weirdo, and well, we all know Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I don't think John Hamm is canceled though. I think John Hamm's still vibing.
John Hamm is.
No,
you didn't hear about that? No, yeah, John Hamm is one of those guys where he did some really weird frat stuff.
Oh,
where he like tortured a guy, and that's why if you look up, I don't think so.
Oh, thank God.
It's one of those things where John Hamm is like, if you look up why he transferred colleges, it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh man, I like him so much.
It's not ideal.
I liked him so much. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean he's still a good actor is the thing, right? Like it's not a continuing thing for him in the same way that it was for like Spacey, where I'm like, oh yeah,
and Elgort,
that's
yeah.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still super shitty to have done super shitty things in like the early 90s.
100%.
Doesn't make it less shitty. Yes. It is definitely a difference of I was a shitty person and never got any real consequences for it versus.
And a lot of people, I will say, shitty. A lot of people definitely have chosen their times to shine of he doesn't sound very apologetic. And it's like, well, if you get jumped by an awkward question in an interview,
yeah,
how are you going to handle that, Dan?
Yeah,
because I know I probably wouldn't handle it as well as I could.
No, definitely not.
Not to like defend the man who has done nothing for me and I owe him nothing and he owes me everything.
Yeah,
but like, you know, it's like I'm not stupid. I get that I would not want to talk to somebody about something that I may like regret heavily in a gotcha type setting.
No, nor should you. That literally
Flip
only
side, I think I would also understand that that's like not ideal for me and that's going to look worse for me in the long run if I don't address
this. This is why you talk to your agent ahead of time and figure out just something. It doesn't have to be an in-depth thing, but like something that you can say. My point is, RIP to John Hamm. Sure do wish I still liked him. It's fine. It's fine. Jamie Foxx is good. Jamie Foxx,
his role in Baby Driver,
not canceled yet.
God tier.
Let's see. Jamie Foxx.
Honestly, I love every character I've seen John Hamm play.
I do too.
I'm not going to back down about that.
Jamie Foxx's, it looks like his worst thing was, let's see.
I am so afraid that you're about to drop some like horrific thing on my head.
Fuck.
Did you find something bad?
Okay, it was broke, but how much do we trust TMZ and BuzzFeed as sources?
50-50. Why?
Word on the street is that Jamie Foxx, and I quote, slapped a woman with his penis back in 2002.
Okay, here's the thing though. It is comforting to me knowing that it's a 2002 thing.
Again, not
that long. Like not making it doesn't excuse it.
As a bunch
but
it
does make me
dudes.
Happy to know it's not a consistent thing.
It's
that has happened recently.
It's one woman, from what I'm seeing. Again, as what I'm seeing on the fly, scrolling through. What I'm seeing is it was one source from TMZ and one woman, which does not mean it didn't happen. Although I will say,
100%.
God damn it, Jamie Foxx, no. Fuck. Lawyers told in an email that a woman's allegation that the actor struck her in the face with his penis is not technically sexual assault. That is the worst defense. That is the worst defense.
I'm sorry,
you could
that's
have.
the defense they had. They're like, yes, he slapped her in the face with his penis. However, he didn't do it in a sexual way.
Accordingly, even if the woman's absurd claim that Mr. Fox allegedly struck her in the face with his penis were true, which Mr. Fox denies, it is not a sexual assault. That's a bad defense. Our client emphatically denies this incident ever occurred, and even if it did, it's not sexual assault. No.
I really love...
No.
Not in this situation. Giant asterisk, not in this situation. However, I do love this didn't happen. Besides, even if it did,
yeah,
it's
really
literally
bad.
the same thing
It's
as
really
OJ being
bad.
like, if I did it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Which, for the record, is hilarious.
That's so bad.
There's not a lot funnier than OJ in prison for the murder of his family, being like, I didn't do it, but like, I mean, if I
had done
here's
it.
how I would have done it.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But like, if I did, this would be every step. But I mean, like, we all know. But like, you know, if I did it, but I didn't.
I don't
And it's
wanna
like,
talk about
damn,
actors
dude.
being killed anymore. I'm sad now.
Hey, fair enough. What would you like to talk about, Dan?
And Lily James slept with a married man. I'm so angry. Every person in that movie is canceled.
Who did?
Lily James, Deborah.
I gotta be honest, man. I couldn't care less about people having an affair. There are so many bigger
as far
things
as
to worry
things
about.
go, it's not that big a deal, but still pretty shitty.
It's shitty, but I gotta be honest. If I cared every time something like that happened, I wouldn't have like anything to look forward to in life ever.
That's valid.
You know,
I'm glad that's where
you
we
gotta draw a
we
line
forgive.
of what is an acceptable level of shittiness from your celebrities that you have decided to care about. And I have decided I literally couldn't care less if celebrities have affairs. They
Yeah.
literally live in a different world than the rest
and also
of us.
like it's just being shitty, right?
No, there's some people that are just shitty that I'm like, nah. That's
Fuck
it.
yourself. Yeah. That's
Like,
fair.
what's his name? Bruce Willis? That man's just a piece of shit. He's
Oh,
just not
no.
a nice guy. Yeah, he was super shitty to people during COVID.
Oh, I remember
Sir,
that.
you need to wear a mask. Don't you know who I am? Type of guy.
No.
Did you forget about that? If so, I do apologize. I didn't mean to
Every
bring up
actor
something else.
is terrible.
Many actors are, yes.
99% of actors are terrible.
Can I introduce you to our Lord and Savior?
Is that the sound? Is that the Lord and Savior?
That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought that you were gonna say. I thought that was well, let me introduce you to our Lord and Savior, and then you looked something up, and you're like, "Fuck, wait, hold on, never mind."
Nope, that's it. Just
You know what? That's
It's
fair.
like,
it's not
sometimes
at the end of the day.
there are things beyond your control.
Yeah.
And if you only, I very firmly believe this. If you only in your life tried to consume unproblematic content, you will never consume any content.
Yeah, sooner or later, everyone's done something somewhere. Unless it's Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers literally did no wrong ever. Time
I
and
got
time
bad
again.
news for you about Mr. Rogers, Dan. Takes a long
literally
drag on
die.
a cigarette.
literally cease existence.
Mr. Rogers, well-known head of the American Yakuza.
You know what, though? I don't think that would make me like Mr. Rogers less, to be honest.
Here's something I think is kind of funny. Dan, do you agree that organized crime is not as big of a like red flag turnoff as it should be?
100%. We've glorified it too much. We as a society have gone too deep into, but look how cool The Sopranos were, or whatever.
I feel like it's probably The Godfather. I think it's The
Godfather is up
Godfather
there,
that people are
Goodfellas is up
usually like,
there.
hey. Yeah, no, 100%. Godfather, Goodfellas, like shit like that, and people are like, this is the coolest thing. Back when people loved their mothers. And
Literally, stop.
Despite the fact that that's literally not what
It's fine.
fucking you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't talk. Be nice to me. I'm a whole glass of port in. Be nice. Oh fuck, that sounds so sad.
You've become such a
anyway.
lightweight. It's ridiculous. I remember when you could drink.
I've always been a
before
lightweight.
times.
Yeah, okay, but then I stopped having a problem. This is not meant as a drag.
Hey, hold on.
It's just
what
like,
are you trying to say?
Hey, I'm trying to say that, hey, here's some of the deep lore for Noah. Your boy used to drink at Chick-fil-A on the clock all the time.
I mean, to be fair, you were...
Not a good thing to do. Don't recommend it, but I did know how much orange juice to drink out of our orange juice cups to pour vodka into that I could still slam it quick and not pull faces.
That's amazing.
And it was not an ideal time of my life.
I'm gonna be honest though. I feel like you were working a kitchen, and that's almost like
not to say it's par for the course, but side eyes kitchens in general.
Yeah, it's definitely expected.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that I wanna, but
no, of course not.
Yeah, it's expected. I'm not gonna pretend it's not.
So,
but anyway, Dan, do you have any happier things to talk about? Because I'll be honest, it bums me out a little bit.
No, I don't have anything to talk about.
Damn.
I'm unenthused.
Unenthused, huh?
I'm unenthused about
life. Hey, unenthused, I'm Noah. Yo.
No, cease.
No? Damn. That's so rude of you. I'm trying to enthuse you, and you just told me to cease?
Enthuse me, daddy.
All right, there we go.
And we're back. Noah, new D&D books came out.
Really?
Yeah, not super
I don't keep
recent.
up with that. What new things happened? I'm
gonna double check because I haven't read this one yet.
Oh.
Let's see. You got the let's see. 2021. It was literally super recently. List of all D&D 5e books. Give me the new one.
Give me the new one.
Is it Radiant Citadel? No, that's not it. The fuck is this?
Is it like a new storybook or new items?
Monsters of the Multiverse. That's what it was. It was a new.
I am frustrated that the word multiverse is there literally only because the word multiverse is there.
Trust me, I'm aware. Mordecai, Monsters of the Multiverse. Fucking
Mordecai?
Yeah, Mordekainen. Sorry, the same guy who did the same in-universe character who did Tomophos.
Damn.
The only reason I remember it is because there's like 10, 15 new races or something ridiculous.
Why? That's so many.
I don't see the problem. I love it, actually.
I mean, more power to you.
I'm a huge fan of
so many.
I'm a huge fan of more races, more options in D&D. So I've been off my D&D games for a while.
Yeah,
because I just haven't been able to. Like, I just literally haven't had time. And so all my D&D games have been on like hiatus for a little while. And I miss it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss it a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 30, 31, 30, 33 new races. 33.
That's a lot of new races. Like
everything
player
from
races or
player
monsters
races
too?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Everything from centaurs to Azamars.
So some stuff that you could already be, but there's more. It's more official now.
Yeah, it's more official. Yeah, Tabaxis are back. They've been in there a while. Like some things are like it reestablishes orc as a race, which it used to just be half orc. You couldn't. You used to be able to play as a full orc for a while. I
gotta be honest. Anytime I've played as a half orc, I was really playing a full orc.
Yeah, I know. Same.
Like, why else? Why would you do anything else?
Literally true. Like, honest. Like, Goliaths are a full thing now. I know they were in one of the other ones, but they're back. I'm a huge fan of centaurs being a playable race. To be honest,
there's a lot of fun to that.
There's something very fun and silly about playing a centaur that I love. I don't know why.
It's just fun.
I do think it makes me legally a horse boy, which I'm not a fan of.
Yes.
But here we are.
Congratulations, horse boy.
I also am always going to be a fan of playing something very tiny, like a fairy. I think that's also very silly. High key, a goal of mine to someday play a fairy rogue because that's very funny.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I'll give you that.
They're going to have their sword is quite literally just going to be a long needle, like a big sewing needle.
Very fun.
Because it's fun and silly, but also like you can. I want to go play a centaur and have and ride like have somebody ride on my back into battle. Like that's all.
Were
I don't think.
were you around? I don't think you were. I had this idea for a character once
Do tell.
that I was going to be a an orc who didn't speak common.
Oh.
And my friend was going to be a gnome or a halfling who could not walk.
Oh, I have heard this. Yes.
And basically, it was going to just be I was his mech and he was my pilot, but I would be a big flailing monster man who smashed things and he would be an archer on my back. And that was the whole plan.
Fucking, what is this character? There's a Dota 2 character like that.
And I don't know. I like the idea of like he can understand me and I can understand common, so that way he wouldn't have to constantly be like, and I relay that to whatever my character's name would be, you know. But that way we could have the fun of it would have to be someone who I was really comfortable with is the problem.
Well,
because I love the idea of the character, but we would have to work so carefully together.
Yeah. Well, and you have to also work, you have to almost get the entire party on board with that ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. And that I'm not going to pretend that it would be easy to do.
No, because that you're essentially saying, hey. Although what you really could do then is you could let the hard part would be doing damage to both, right? You'd almost have to do something where you split the damage between the two, which is a very dangerous game to play.
Right, because there's a reason that I was the tank.
Exactly.
Little fragile baby.
I just sent you a link because they literally did your thing.
Who did?
I just sent it to you.
Who did the thing? Oh, Dota 2. Okay, yeah. I do love that.
I do love it quite a bit.
He's just riding around on a troll.
An ogre, technically, but yeah. He's just a little friend. He's just a little guy.
I love stuff like that.
I do too. I think it's one of those things that would be so difficult to balance properly. Is literally the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like my only.
Because it would be one of those things where technically maybe we make him, except for splash damage, we make him invincible, right?
Yeah, which is not necessarily a good thing.
But
you can do.
But
range,
then if I go down,
damage.
He'd be super squishy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I don't know. There's ways to do it.
There's ways to do it. It's hard to do it in a way that feels satisfying for everybody, I think. And again, if I have to be something
because no one wants to play a game with the guy who technically can't die.
Exactly.
Until his friend gets knocked down.
Although I almost wonder if you could do something. So in Pathfinder, there's a system there's a follower system. I'm blank leadership. It's a leadership feat where you just get a person to follow you around as hey, you've recruited a sidekick essentially.
Nice.
And I almost feel like you could do it in that with some feat tomfoolery. That's the one thing I think Pathfinder has on D&D. Truly, is the fact that if you really want the best and worst thing about Pathfinder is that if you really want to find a way to do it, there's probably rules to let you do it. Unfortunately, for every rule that says, hey, here's a feat that allows you to, for example, cast spells while falling through the air in bad weather, right? It then kind of almost says, well, if you don't have that feat, then you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It almost suffers from having too many options because so many of those options you get to stop having fun. For example, there's a feat tree. There's a thing called Shadow Dancers, which is what I've been playing for years now. And there's a cool thing where, as part of their action, the move action, they can blink around the battlefield. Whatever, they get nothing personnel kid.
Yeah.
If you want to do that as part of your attack, which I mean, yeah,
of course,
you have to take 4 feats for it. If you want to be able to use it to be able to flank up with yourself, use yourself as flanking, you have to take more feats for it. It's just all these things that it almost seem well, of course I can do that. That's the whole point of getting doing all this stuff already. And it's already after you've dropped into a specialty class and dropped extra feats on getting a little extra range and stuff like that. It's very cool, truly. It doesn't make it necessarily very good because it really does have the problem. It's why a lot of Pathfinder games will, if I'm playing, almost every Pathfinder game I've played, they have some kind of system in place to just dump extra feats in. There's a whole system of feats in Pathfinder that are just designed to be used essentially as co-op systems. Pathfinder co-op feats. They're called teamwork feats. And like some of them are really neat. Like, for example, use an ally as cover and make them take the attack instead of you. Like, but you both have to have that feat.
Which makes sense.
Which
Because
makes
otherwise
sense.
you'd have one guy who's just throwing his friend under the gun constantly.
But
But
that means both of you have to sacrifice a feat to be able to do that.
I feel like you would almost be getting to the point where it's like, hey, let's all agree here. We're all getting this, and this, and this, and everyone just like
adds it and doesn't count it against their feats. That's really what you have to do.
Which is annoying.
It's extremely annoying.
I get it, but it is annoying.
It's super annoying. Things like, I don't know, even simple things like, hey, I want to get, where is the stupid one? There's one that's like, spell sharing. So like being able to cast a spell that you can cast on yourself on an ally. Or like shield wall, where as long as 2 people have it, you can get bonuses to AC. Because, swap places and improve swap places. Like,
good lord.
There's one that's for topple foe, where you literally just do the thing you did, that kids do on the playground, where one person pushes and the other stands behind them.
Are you serious?
It's topple foe. That's what it does.
I love that.
As long as an ally is flanking, it's ridiculous. And it's fun. Like, some parts of it are fun. And other parts are just
annoying.
Yeah. It's really dumb. It's really dumb. There's one that's called, actually one that's really cool that I wish was, like, a thing that worked. It's called Broken Wing Gambit, where you allow things, like, if you miss, you're, like, you essentially play it up, and they get a bonus to attack you, but if they attack you, all your friends get a, attack opportunity on them. Like, that's fucking rad. That's such a cool feat. I shouldn't have to make my allies also suffer through picking that feat up. That's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Why? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Pathfinder's dumb and stupid and bad, and I really need to play the second one because I need to have an opinion on it. But they're cool. They're neat. That's the thing. That's something that I feel like there isn't a lot of like feats in 5e feel weird. Like, they definitely feel like almost they're not supposed to be there, and they're only there so that because people kept complaining about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they definitely don't. They're not great. Like I don't know. It's really interesting.
Anytime that you end up having to deal with it is like you have to sacrifice a point upgrade.
Yeah. One of your and usually you get not always, but usually you get, it's like, hey, you still get one, not even usually, but for some of them you still get like, hey, you increase one thing by 1 instead of things by 2, but you also get this little side ability. So you're either sacrificing 1 or 2 like stat points for it.
Mm-hmm.
Which are huge. Like, that's so huge.
Yeah, and stat points are more important. Yeah. Since rolls are so fucking important in D&D.
And it's,
and feats are cool. I think what should happen is we should just be allowed to take a feat and the stat points instead of sacrificing both stat points for one feat.
I think that's fair. But I also think that, like, at that point you've just gone back to 3-5 system, essentially. Not literally, but sort of. Things, and they're also like, they're all very imbalanced, right? There's one that's just, you learn telepathy. You can do telepathy now. For anyone within 60 feet, you can talk to them telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1.
Because that feels like something that you'd be able to boost your intelligence with.
Well, and see, I'm fine with, like if they were all like that, I wouldn't be mad. But there's one that's like, hey, you get 2 meta magic points that you can cast like once a day, essentially, and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just very, very imbalanced and weird, and they always feel like an afterthought. And I low-key, high-key wish they just didn't put them in. And I've always been a fan of something that I feel like some GMs do, which is story feats. Where, like, hey, GM, I want to get this feat eventually. This is like part of the character thing. I think it would be cool. I think it's interesting. How do we want to make this work? And figure out, like, oh, hey, yeah, you're going to go on a quest to figure this out. You want to be telepathic? you're gonna have to go and engage with like this specific quest essentially to get this quest reward. I think that's a good way to do it, but that's not raw. That's not rules as written. You can just that's just because I think it's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, D&D is always so scared of allowing spellcasters to have spells from other classes. It's ridiculous. Like, I get it, and also like if I want to go be a sorcerer and also be able to learn a couple spells in a spell book, fuck you. Like, kind of fuck you. I don't know. D&D is dumb. I love it very much. It's very dumb. It's very dumb.
Hell yeah, it is, brother.
Hell yeah, it is, brother. It's fine.
Dan, I think this is a good time to wrap up.
Get us out of here. I'm done. I'm done with being married. I mean, wait, no, hold on. Fuck.
Spoiler alert, everyone. Dan's getting married in 4 days from now. 5 days from now.
Joke's on you. You
5
thought it
days
had already
from
happened, but we were
now.
lying.
Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming. So yeah, we recorded in advance. We don't even know how the wedding went. Spoiler alert, it went great.
I really need you to keep putting out good vibes into the world and keep saying that it went great, because if it goes poorly, I will cry.
There's literally, okay, so real talk, the literal only way it could go wrong is if you don't show up early enough to the wedding. The rest of it is, Dan, great news. It's out of your hand almost entirely. It's just
it
like,
really
hey,
does take care of itself.
as long as you show up, it's done. And that's all you need to worry about.
Show up and don't forget to bring my little piece of paper that has my vows on it. That's about it.
Yeah, that's a biggie. If you forget that one, legally, I'm not allowed to marry you.
Damn, that's rough.